Hey there. When you unmute your mic, you get a little more audio in there. What do you think? Yeah? Yeah? I tell you, it's an amazing thing when you got the mic working. I don't know that there's the mic. Okay, yeah. Mic. It's not Wednesday, but we're doing the mic thing. 37 seconds in, and we can see that it's been a heck of a day. Hello. Welcome to the House of Pain. No, the House. Well, it is painful today. Today's been a very painful day, physically speaking. Hey, how you doing there, particular lady? Hello from Virginia. Hello from Alabama, Northern Alabama. Yeah, I was just watching Carnivore Kip on with Hanging with the Browns, and I said, bam, I'm going to go ahead and get on here. I know there's a lot of people doing their lives tonight. I know that the ladies are doing their live over in another channel, and that well, the people there. How you doing there today in Virginia? The protected lady. How's the weather there? You good? Let's see who else is doing it. Yeah, you got the old guy carnivore with 162. Nourishment Redacted is on there. So yeah, there's a lot of people out there in the carnivore space here on a Tuesday night. But today has been hectic. I apologize. The office is in disarray. I haven't cleaned up my mess. Tools are everywhere. Today was a construction day. Good and warming up. Good. Hello, Cheryl from Wisconsin. You were watching Kip and the Browns. Yeah, they're great. I just really started watching them. Well, weather here was beautiful today. Absolutely beautiful. But I was working on my Wi-Fi today. I have a Spectrum Internet, and I had to buy a security camera for the house because we have some young folk, or I don't want to say we have young folk, but we have some folk who decided that they wanted to avail themselves of my property, my truck, and so I had my truck broken into, my car next door was broken into, and had to do something about it. And my doing something about it was getting the security cameras up. And I'm not really tech savvy. I tore my fingers up today. Now, you can see all these cuts here. I had to run a cable down the wall and shoving they call it a tape, but it's not a tape. But anyway, a snake, shoving that metal thing down the wall, all the nails coming in from the hardboard siding and stuff, they were tearing my hands up today. So I've had a heck of a day, and I had to fold myself up into little origami things. And kind of a heavy guy, a big guy to be folding up into origami. Anyway, so Wisconsin, I was in Wisconsin this last summer, Cheryl. It was awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. I haven't been hitting the carnivore really dedicated yet. I was very dedicated for a little over 100 days, and then the holidays came, and I got stressed, and I did a really poor job, and I allowed myself to get distracted. So I'm mostly carnivore. I'm carnivorous by habit. But there's been a few cookies. The wife went and bought Girl Scout cookies. Why? Remember that in Star Trek or whatever? Then it's like, Khan. That's why I'm like, cookies, no. But cookies happen, Yeah, you're right. You're right there. We do slide, and I heard this when they were talking about it on the Browns. This is a way of life forever. I heard a joke where someone said, how brain cells die, your hair falls out, those types of cells die. But fat cells must be born again because they just never go away. They're there for eternity. Okay, that was my attempt at humor. We won't try that again. But yeah, I have to be honest with you. Them fat cells, they puff up real quick, don't they? They just come back to life. They're like Lazarus. They'll just jump up on you and start having a good old time. And before you know it, you are back into how do we say it? The fluffy zone. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you get fluffy. Mini donut last week. Yep. Yep. Pain, the bloating. Yep. I host a men's breakfast at my church once a month. And I got the donuts, and the donuts they got me back. Oh, I can't close my hand yet. Had a car accident 3 weeks ago, and I still can't close my hand right. Then I was using it today. It's just going to take a long time to heal. But yeah, those donuts, they're well, the donuts in and of themselves aren't the bane of my existence. The bane of my existence is my reliance on crutches when I'm stressed. And why I let myself get so stressed, I don't know, but I do. And when I get stressed, I'm not disciplined. I don't have that internal discipline. Do y'all ever suffer from that internal discipline thing? Pardon me. I do. I suffer from the internal discipline because I was raised in a very authoritarian, disciplined family. My dad was a senior NCO in the Army, and my mom was raised that way too. So she raised her kids the way she was raised, and that kind of I'm gonna use the word robbed, but that's too strong a word. It robbed me of a lifetime of developing my internal discipline. Yeah, Wisconsin is a beautiful state. You're on the border with Illinois. Okay, I got it. I was up in Waterton. Am I saying that correctly? I'm not sure. Waterton, yeah. And I have a cousin that lives in that area, and I was up there visiting he and his family. It was wonderful. I'd never been to his house. And then we went up the rest of the way, and we went over the peninsula, and we ended up at Mackinac Island area. Yeah, it was beautiful. I really liked it. But I'll be going back again. I'm not going to let myself not go back again and not see that. That was just amazing. All right, we're gonna hit the banner. There you go. Look at that. It looks like I can actually see and do things all funny and good. Okay, so what do we have here? Carnivore made my stress less. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry you lost your mom. That's tough. That is tough. Um, I lost my mother a long time ago. Well, January 1st, 1997. And that's tough. I still have my dad. He's 89 years old this year. Yep. But I've lost both my in-laws within the last 3 years. And yeah, it's tough. Our pastor says, the way he says it is, you don't get over it. You get through it, and you learn to live. You learn to live with it, and that's the hard part. So yeah, my stress level is pretty much all self-generated. Yeah, Waterton. You lived in the 70s. Cool, cool. So it was a unique little visit to them. They live in the town too. They live like in the town, like walking distance from restaurants and stuff, and little old house. But yeah, I'll go back there again, Miss Cheryl. I sure will. I tell you, this would be a lot easier for me to do the carnivore thing if my better half, well, better one third, if my better one third was into carnivore, but she's not. She tolerates it, but it's hard on her, and she really has an issue with the carbohydrates, And so, well, her issue isn't that she has an issue because she's big or anything, but her issue is that she gets headaches and she doesn't eat every 4 hours. And well, we know what that means, but it's hard and it's difficult to plan a meal. Don't you all have any? Do you all have any challenges with meal planning and meal prep when you're having to do all this and you have someone else who's in the house with you, and therefore it gets challenged to meet their expectations and your desires and bringing them together because it is hard here, and I don't make it easy, and well, there's just that. That's all I can say about that. It is honestly very difficult on the rest of the people in a household when you know when you want to do something that is so very um, I don't want to say limited because truthfully, um, all I've done is get rid of two. I've gotten rid of 66% of the diet, but I still love onions and will continue to eat onions regardless of what I'm doing because I don't think onions are all that horrific, and I believe that the prebiotic that they have isn't all that horrible. Your spouse is keto. All right, cool. That's cool, cool. So kind of, oh yeah, 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 yeah. No junk food. There you go. And we have junk food. And like I said, the wife bought. She had 3 things of Girl Scout cookies, and then she cooked up some cookies. And the neighbor gave us homemade like pumpkin spice bread. And yeah, I'm I'm way in over my head. I am so hurting when they're around. Now I know I'm a grown man. I'm 61 years old. I should be able to maintain some semblance of discipline, but I don't. Ah, well. So what do we have going on? Cheryl said just made some mashed potatoes. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, in in the garage. There you go. I uh I don't know. I think I I suspect that when and if we were to get our bodies in a prolonged state of proper human diet, and then we were slow to reintroduce and then not lose our mind, we could probably ingest more foods, that are not in a carnivore way, but uh, I don't know when that time is. I don't know what happens when that actually um, occurs. When's that time when you're strong enough and capable enough to not overdo it? You might do mashed potatoes and butter and all that and be fine, but then the next thing you know, there's garlic bread or there's pasta and then there's beans and then we're back to where we started. So that's a challenge right there. Um, I don't know. I don't know, but I did hear the garage door just going. So my wife is back from her evening out, and that really shouldn't impact anything. But you never know. I mean, the door could open up, Mrs. could show up, and all of a sudden she could be, "Oh, you're live. I'm sorry." Oh, but I don't know. We'll see. I love doing this live format, by the way. And if anybody actually wanted to join, I could throw out the link and make sure that. If you want to come on live and share the screen and share your story and talk about things going on, that's kind of what the MO is here. The whole idea between my going live is to share and to investigate and then to invite others in, and then we have a free form dialogue and we just kind of chew the fat around the old pickle barrel, so to speak. So, oh, really? Well, I mean, if that inflammation is something that you deal with and you can attribute it directly to those foods, then it is what it is, right? I know that this hand, oh man, really sore. This one I'm sore, And I had some cookies, but I think part of it I think I have to do some physical therapy on my hands, both hands, after the car wreck. And this hand in particular, these two fingers here, man, have you ever noticed that when you hurt something and you notice it, you're like, man, I can't believe how much this really hurt, but you didn't notice it before. It's kind of like the reverse of when you don't have inflammation anymore and you get used to not having inflammation, right? And then you eat something wrong and you get the inflammation, you go, oh, I remember now. I remember now. So all this summer, adding low carb veggies did that to you? Was it just low carb veggies? Was there a sauce involved? Because I mean, that's that's scary. Is that me? Are you talking like squash and things like that? Is that what did it? Or was there like squash with the butter sauce or cheese sauce? That could be bad. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What type of vegetables were you eating over the summer? I mean, I'm thinking summer vegetables tend to be squash, cucumber, tomatoes. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so let's see. Now the tomatoes, I would say the tomatoes and the tomatoes would probably be the thing that to get the biggest problem, I suspect. But cucumber, so the wife makes this wonderful cucumber and onion a salad, with a little bit of mayo mixed in, right? And I don't know, but I mean, if that's what caused that, I would see how that caused inflammation. Now let's think. Wait a minute. Let's backtrack. If we have inflammation, and I think we could all agree that inflammation would probably be a combination of things, but the primary physical aspect of that inflammation would be fluid retention, and so that swelling. So fluid retention, and that would cause compartment pressure. That would cause pressure on nerves. Um, but yeah, inflammation and the associated retention of fluid. So I could see how the pounds could come up with that. If you had each joint, I know that I have a challenge with venal, the valves and the veins. So I'm not positive, but I do know when I eat poorly, it's really tough. It's really tough. My cankles really come out with a vengeance for sure. Hello, Julia. How you doing? You love cucumber, onion, mayo? Yeah, it does. It does. And we can make our own, but honestly, sometimes it's just easier. Maybe that's part of our challenge too. Oh, speaking of challenges, we've been going through some car challenges here in the Casa Scotti, and the car challenges started with the car accident. And when it rains, it pours. So one of our cars was totaled. We're blessed. We're good. Um, so that left us with the other car, which has about 151,000 miles, and then my older truck, which has very few miles, but it's just a simple work truck, right? Wouldn't you know it? I had to replace the thermostat in the work truck, and something went wrong with the car. So then I had to replace a mass valve sensor, and then I got that replaced, and then it still didn't work. So then we had to take it into the dealer, and that's always more expensive. And we had to have another valve sensor put in and an update to everything. Well, anyhow, in all of that and going back and forth, I decided yesterday to go on a little bit of a walk. Yeah. I took the car in. The missus made an appointment at the car dealer. Hope no one here's a car dealer. The missus made an appointment at the car dealer. I took the car in. I made my appointment time. And I said, well, when can you get to it? And I'm going to just sit over in the lobby and drink the poor coffee, brought my charger for my phone. I was ready, Mr. Boy Scout. And he said, maybe tomorrow afternoon. Why do they tell you to make an appointment? Why do they have you make an appointment and then they don't even get to it for like 36 hours? Huh? Riddle me this. So I decide, because I need to get back into some other shape than round, I decide, well, I'll just start walking. And I know the wife, the missus, she was busy doing her thing in her day. I want to give her time to continue on with what she does. And I said, you know what? I need to go by Best Buy and I need to pay a bill. So I just walked to Best Buy. And it's a couple miles. And so I did. And they were closed. And on my way, I thought, well, I need to go by Home Depot to buy a security camera because I had to put some security cameras up because some little urchins have been breaking into my truck and breaking into other people's cars. And we want to make sure we can, dissuade them of these activities. And so, what can I say? The bottom line is, I will walk down to the store. And anyway, I'd walked a ways. And when I'd walked a ways, I realized I hadn't gotten quite as far as I thought I was going to get in the time I'd walked. And I looked at my phone at the map and it said it's about another 2.5 hours of walking. I was like, I don't know about that. So I decided to call the missus and she decided to come meet me someplace. But anyway, I got in a lot of steps yesterday. I know that a Hoosier Carnivore is doing a 5K every day. Well, I did my 5K yesterday and I was not doing it again today. I'll tell you that much. Can you say chafing? Chafing? Yes. Okay. Sorry about this. Yep. Car dealerships. Not only are they slow, they're expensive. I had to pay $167 for them to tell me what the problem was. And then when they found the problem, they had to put the part in with a couple $100, and it took them $87 to do this and $87 to do that, and $52 a shop fee, and then the taxes, and $800 later, my car no longer has little lights all over it. Amen. But that was way too much. I've heard it said before, our most expensive asset is our ignorance. Wow. Truth. They've got you over a barrel. It never rained what it pours. I'm rattling around the house alone because I'm going to end up in Omaha, 5 hours. Oh, I'm so sorry, Julia. I was just south of Omaha for 15 years. My son lives in Omaha. I was in Omaha back in, oh gosh, I don't know what month this is. October? Maybe October or November. One of those 2 months I was in Omaha. My buddy had to have some surgery for cancer, so I had to go take care of him. So I'm so sorry, Julia. That's it. Are you in Iowa, Julia? Is that where you're up? Iowa? Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm not an amazing mechanic. I did it in the military a little bit, but it's not my thing. Now, when I was younger, I worked on some cars a little bit. Back in the days when you could actually work on a car, you didn't need a computer degree. You'd have to, bust your knuckles and get dirty, and you take the starter out. You could rebuild the starter. You could rebuild the engine. You could drop a transmission, do another one. But yeah. But anyway, nowadays you have to be a computer scientist. Yep. Oh, Trenton, Nebraska. Trenton, Nebraska. Now I'm gonna look up Trenton, Nebraska on my Googler. Let me look up my Trenton, Nebraska. TRENTONNE. Because you say that. Oh, okay. Hitchcock County. All right. I'm wondering. Let me look something up here real quick. All right. Yeah. Does the Republican River run anywhere near you out there in Trenton? Protected lady. You have to run. Okay, thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. I on low carb life. Okay, I'll do that. All right. I'll try to do that. My video on low carb life in your titled "My Doctor Never Told Me." All right, I'm gonna write that down because if I don't write it down, I won't remember it, and then I'll be a liar. So let's see, low carb life. Pardon me, I'm slow. Okay, my doctor told me. My doctor never told me. All right, all right. I'm a simple man, so I could have to do simple notes. Quantity, a lot of them. Hey, good night then. You take care. Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate you. He a paraplegic, but can work on boat, motor car. Yeah, sure. Oh, that's awesome. I got it. Okay, now I understand. Okay, now I'm getting it. Okay, Dave's an awesome guy. I would love to be interviewed by him, but I'd have nothing to say. No, I'm only kidding. All right. Yes, I said the Republican. Okay, I've been on the Republican River. So a number of years ago, I'm gonna go back, going in the way back machine. Hang on a second, way back. 2010 to 2012, I was on the Republican River in the middle of summer. How do you like that, huh? Because the water issues with Nebraska and of course with Colorado and Kansas. So the water issues are really big issues, right? And I was on the Republican River in a canoe, tip a canoe in 42. No, yep, it's full of and that's exactly it. So this is what happened. I was one of your state senators, and we spent a bunch of, well, not, but we spent a little bit of money to eradicate the mighty Phragmites. The Phragmites, it's a weed. You get a whole bunch of them per square foot, plus salt cedar and stuff like that. And what we wanted to do, it turns out that a full-grown cedar tree will aspirate 200 gallons a day of water. So we were cutting down trees and cutting down the weeds or getting rid of the weeds to allow water, and enough water was running in the river then to float my big heavy self and another heavy fella, and we were actually able to float in the Republican. So yeah, but I don't know what's happened. I left office, no longer there, and I don't know exactly what is happening or what isn't happening. But that was an interesting time, and it was interesting to note because you have Lake McConaughey. Was it McConaughey out there? Oh, in Ogallala, and the issue is all these big impoundments of water to control water and flooding. Well, naturally, what would happen is when the floods would come, the floods would scour the rivers and take out everything, right? And of course, houses and stuff like that. So by controlling that, the weeds and the trees grow up in the channels. And Swanson Lake's the closest, okay. And so, when a landowner has a river on their property, normally has a border, not always, but has a border, right? The responsibility is for the landowner to keep the waterway clear of trees and growth to the middle of to the center line. And well, when the federal government and the state government made the big impoundments and different things happened, no one took care of that, and so you end up having less water, and then you get the clogging of the water, and then anyway, long story, it's a tough nut to crack. Well, there was a situation when we were clearing out these trees and stuff that heavy equipment was out there. They outfitted a bobcat with a hook and a saw, and then they had another thing go by, and you have to spray that cedar with a herbicide of some sort before it makes a impenetrable cap with the sap, and otherwise you can't get rid of it. Well, they went and cut down a bunch of these trees in this clump, and they left for the day. And when they came back in the morning, they were in standing water because all the trees that they'd cut down were no longer aspirate or taking up that water. Therefore, it was flowing, and that's what really caught a lot of people's attention. So that's a real issue. That's a real issue up there. But anyway, back. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry your husband has to be in Omaha for taking care of his condition, but it was good to talk about Nebraska. I haven't been there. Well, I was there for a little bit to visit, but I haven't lived there for 10 years now. I left in January of 2014 to this beautiful North Alabama location. But so yeah, we're listening to the Browns and listening to Carnivore Kip. Are any of you planning to go to Carnivore Kip's meetup? I don't know. I don't know who is doing what and where and why and how for. I'm also going to see what else is going on out here in the live world. Okay. So we have Carnivore today, Homesick Buckeye. The Keto Cookout Live is up right now. All right. Okay. That's it. And you still have the Lioness Lifestyle going on. So there's a lot of carnivores out there tonight. So I thank you all for having a tab open here to what I'm doing. But yeah, I was watching the Browns and watching Carnivore Kip tonight talk about things, and they really do a good job of espousing not only the benefits of the lifestyle, but and the old guy is still on. Old Guy Carnivore with 194 watching him. That's awesome. That's an awesome channel there. But that whole thing is this is a lifestyle grind, and if you stick with it, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 5 years, there's some pretty radical changes that happen in people's lives. But if you get into it and you like it, and then it works kind of sort of, but then you kind of sort of play at it, you get kind of sort of results. And that's where I am. I'm in a kind of sort of result place right now. How about y'all? How y'all doing with it? How's Carnivore working for you? Are you all having are you enjoying successes with it, or are you overwhelmed by the complex? Is it complex, or are there things that little, I don't know, what do you call them, lessons learned that any of you have? Or how about any of those non-scale victories, like decreased inflammation, increased energy, decreased brain fog? I think the thing I look for the most is what did Butter Bob used to say, making your pants fall off, the idea of just getting circumferentially healthy. How do you like that? Circumferentially? I don't know if that's a real word, but we just used it today, so it's got to be new. Okay, you took your measurements. Hey, Christine, how are you? My metamorphosis is on board. 3 months. Yeah, you lost 3 inches. Well, I think I found them. Thank you. No, good for you. Hey, good to be seen. Better than being viewed. Better than being viewed. Anything going on great in your world there, Morphosis? How things up there in Nashville? Are things going well up there? We've been having some beautiful weather here. I might be going up to Nashville. I'll be playing through Nashville for sure this weekend. I'm going to be going up to visit my family up north, and going to be doing a little bit of baptism. So I'm going to really be I'll drive right on through, and I'll go on the way through up and on the way down, doing the old I-65 corridor. I'm sure a lot of people drive through there all the time. So Julia, you've got your lost inches. How about you, Christine? Anything for you? How's things going? And Christine, are you going to be going to Carnivore Kip's meetup? Yeah. Yeah. Is it May 6th? I can't remember exactly when it is. I have to look at my phone. I put it in my phone. It's the weekend after. It's the weekend after Easter, if I remember correctly. Oh yeah, I got to turn my hearing aids up. All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh, yep. Where's my doodly doodler? Calendar, February, March, April 6th. Yeah, that's when April 6th. April 6th. Ladies and gentlemen, April 6th will be the Carnivore Kip meetup down in South Alabama, where he'll be smoking up some briskets and all sorts of good meat. Oh, man, weather's been a lot better. Yeah, so far so good. Good. Like it. I like the good weather. I hear they've said we might get a little bit more winter, but I don't know. I'm disapproving that right here. I'm right. You heard it here. I disapprove of any more winter weather, particularly no matter what that little groundhog says. I don't care what he says. Little flipping groundhog. We're looking for rain this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Rain. I really have my heart go out to the people in California. What a place, you know. If it isn't raining, it's pouring, or if it isn't raining, it's a drought. It's just crazy there. Their weather is just horrific, and drier than popcorn or flooding. They can't make up their mind, you know. And there's no pun there intended. No pun intended. Anyway, Christine, I didn't know if you were going to make it to Carnival Kips or not. I'm planning on it. I'm hopeful. And the good thing about that would give me all of February and all of March to at least get down a little bit. I hate to go there and embarrass myself even more so than I normally do. But yeah, it'd be good to get down there and meet some people and mix it up and meet Kip finally. I know I drove by and through his area one time on the way out to the beach one time, but I don't know. So Cheryl, what do you have? You have pulling out a small pulling tops. Yep. There you go. In 15 years, that's cool. It's very cool. I love that feeling. You know what I love? I love the feeling of not being bloated. And I forget how much I hate being bloated until I end up being bloated. And you would think that physical discomfort and distress would be enough to convince you to not do the things that make you feel bad. But what do? We do it again. It's a truly mystifying phenomenon, to be sure. Of course, you know, different things happen at different times. I still subscribe to the concept or the construct, I should say, that the number of variables really drive the complexity of this up so much. I mean, life up so much. And I think that perhaps one of the underpinning reasons for the success many people enjoy in this way of life is because when you simplify, i.e., you go down to one macronutrient, when you simplify, you're just eliminating so many lines of variability. If you had to do remember in English, I never really did it, but I've heard people did it. And you can probably tell from the way I speak. But if you could take a sentence and you could fishbone it, right? Is that what they call that, fishboning it? Where you take it and you look at it and you break out the sentence structure and predicates and nouns and verbs and antecedents. I don't even know if that's what that word means, but it sounds good. But you do all that stuff, you fishbone, you get this total understanding of the sentence, right? Well, our lives are so complex, and our chemistry and our guts is so complex, and while we're simplistic in ways, if you really ever wondered, you know, like you take this water bottle right here, and you fill it full of well-chewed meat and vegetables and You put in all and fats, you put all that in there. Then you have your stomach acids, your biliary salts, and you put it in, you mix it all up. And of course, mix the chyme. And as soon as it's doing some things, even in the mouth, it starts distributing things and absorbing things, and it goes through your stomach, and all that happens, and right into past into your gut, into it goes into the duodenum. Things are happening, and it goes into the small intestine, all those areas, and things are happening. Your body knows what to do, and it's all mixed up, and yet your body knows what to do with all that. And how much of all that complexity, right? Has a either direct or indirect, inversely proportional relationship. The more complex the effort, the less that's derived. So when you go to a simpler dietary pattern where you get rid of only 1/3, think about it. When you do this, right, you're only getting rid of 1/3 of your macronutrient universe, right? When you get rid of the carbohydrates, right? When you get rid of the carbohydrates, you're still keeping your fats, you're still keeping the proteins. So you keep it 2 out of 3. So 66% of your diet remains the same. The same as it ever was, right? And 33% you're chucking out, right? For your hope, for the most part, what your body actually exactly 33%. If you think about it, I think the body really, and Dr. Rob Cyrus, he really got me thinking about this. You really, we need to make sure we understand that sugar is really important. Not sugar we eat, but sugar to our bodies. Because our body, it's one of the only macronutrients our body can make from the other 2 substrates. Think about it. We have a whole organ dedicated to that. So it's important, but it has parameters, right? But anyhow, when you simplify your life by just 33%, look how much better your life gets. It's an interesting thing to think about. All right, what do you have here? My brother and I are going to an intimate evening with the Godsmack at the Ryman Auditorium at the end of the month. All right, sweet. That's good. I'm sure you'll enjoy that, for sure. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're going to go out and do something, have some fun. That's awesome. I had never really thought about that idea. Simplifying your life by getting rid of 33% of something, so it's not a majority. Majority of what you've ate, you've always eaten, you're going to continue to eat in a macro sense. But of course, if you take both those macros, the proteins and the fats, the lipids, right, the fats, the dietary fat, that dietary fat is undergoing a big change too. You're simplifying it, right? Hopefully having whole meat, animal fat type things, right? Instead of the man-made fats and the seed oils and stuff like that. So you really have simplified it, even though you're keeping that food group, but you are simplifying the fats on the one side. And then when you get to the proteins, you are kind of getting limited if you go truly BB&E, going truly to ruminants, right? Getting rid of non-ruminant stuff. So, but getting your body simplified helps your body to spend more of the energy it has to spend on digestion to spend it to more completely digest the one things you are eating. Does that make any sense? In other words, I only got 15 laborers. And if I eat all 3 food groups, I know you can't do this in a linear fashion, but for the sake of an argument model, right? If you put 5 working on fats and 5 working on proteins and 5 working on carbohydrates, and the food is coming in, and you have the peristaltic motion of the gut, there's a certain throughput, right? Well, for most people, some is quicker transit, some is slower transit, but if there's a bell curve, standard time. You'd have things pushing through, so you only have so many times. So you're, over R value of absorption, right? You're not going to get the whatever may be bioavailable or not. It's going to be impacted by the amount of work and effort going on as you keep eating every 4 hours. Oh, here comes another load, Charlie. Got to move this along. I don't have time to go down to the details. Just move it along. Well, if everything you're eating get moved along and what you're eating isn't high quality, and then you kind of see the complexity things. So when you slow down and you slow your roll and you go into just 2 food groups, still the majority of what you ever ate before, you go into those 2 food groups, look at how much better things have gotten for so many people. People getting off most, if not all, their diabetic medications. People getting off of blood pressure medications. People getting off of anti-inflammatory type medications. Well, gosh, there's your liver getting better, right? If your liver's getting better, your kidneys are getting better. And then you have that phenomenon that Bill Nye had. And I remember I talked about this probably about 6-7 months ago, maybe more even beforehand. Talking about the lymphatic system. I know how they talked about all that pain and discomfort, but that lymph doesn't have a motor. The lymphatic system doesn't have a motor. You have to move it. And that's where you get a lot of your health from, right? And the ability to fight off diseases from your lymphatic system. So your autoimmune, and anyway, long story is eat less, move more, eat less of the crappy stuff, more of the better stuff, move some more. And it's like a country western song, you get everything. If you take it and you play it backwards, you get your dog back, your house back, your girlfriend back, all those good things. Yep. So it's an amazing thing, though. We see it get better for those of us like myself who, quote unquote, fall off that wagon. Gosh, everything gets so good, and then something comes along and mucks it up. Well, I guess that's what life is, right? That's what life is. Life is about what are those, all those wise people. We know all the wise sayings, all the cute little things about, it's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you pick yourself up, right? I get it. But man, sometimes you just don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear people telling you stuff, even though you know they're right. I think the bottom line is that if it were easy, no one would be out of shape. No one would be sick. If it were easy, they wouldn't sell billions of dollars of diet pills and diet paraphernalia. That's what the word I was looking for. Paraphernalia. I mean, I think that's one of the big things. It's one of the real big things for me is when you see how much money is being made off of people's frailty, when it's the thing you can't quit. Like, we don't, quote unquote, we don't need crack cocaine, right? We don't need marijuana. We don't need all those types of pharmaceutical drugs. We don't need alcohol, right? But you need food. So how diabolical is it to say, you need air, you need food, shelter, all those Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You need those things. So when you have an addiction to them, it's really it really manifests itself as a much more difficult thing to overcome, And if you're not surrounded with people that care about you, if you're not surrounded with people that, give a large rodent's rectum about how well you do, that's what I think is really amazing about this community. This community tends to really be supportive. This community tends to be genuine and authentic in conveying to others um, the importance and the impact that this way of life brings about and what it does. I don't think too many of us are going to be out there making a lot of money off of YouTube videos talking about, oh well, I ate all meat and I gave up my sugar and my life is so much better. And that's not going to be that's not the stuff of millions and millions of viewers. If you have maybe if you're like Dr. Barry and you're a medical doctor and you get a following with that, then awesome. But for the majority of us, we're in it for relating. We're in it to receive and to grasp on to some motivation, some sense of I don't want to say maybe sense of purpose. For the majority of us, it's about relationships. It's about tuning in, and I see Christine's on there, and I see some people on there, and we have some camaraderie and back and forth, and that's awesome, Not a check at the end of the month. It's not 5 million views or 15,000 followers. I'm not mad at the ones who can do it. I'm ecstatic for them, and I know that this YouTube thing, it can just suck you in. Next thing you know, you feel like you're obligated to do something. You got, if I want to get the algorithm right, I've got to do this, and I've got to make these super duper fancy fingernails, and I have to thumbnails. I have a problem with thumbs, so maybe I have a little bit of a bias with thumbnails. I was thinking about a T-shirt though, Christine. I thought I'd start with a T-shirt that said, I came for the steak, but stayed for the friends, or something like that. Something kind of something like a carnivore, type of logo statement. A tagline: came for the steak, stayed for the friends. Yeah, or the community. I'm not sure how it works, but I was thinking about that for a T-shirt or something like that. To get, what do you call it, merch. Yeah, get some merch. And so we can all have a good time saying, I got merch, and take merch to the shows and make $1.280 doing that. No, I just think it's fun. I do this because I enjoy conversating, Matter of fact, I know that everybody has a lot of stuff going on, but let me do this right here. Doodly doo. This is something for those of you who may not know. This is something I like to do. Put that in there. I'll put the link if anybody wanted to come in, they could. But I know, let's see what I'm watching right now. We have Home Keto Cookout has at least 15, 20 people watching that. No, more than that, 20 plus. And in that, and we have the Old Guy Carnivore still going strong, 194 watching there. So 220 people watching Carnivore Live tonight. That's pretty good for Tuesday night, don't you think? But I do like to pop the link in there in case someone says, hey, I want to talk about something. I want to share more than type. By all means, pop your camera on and we'll hit it up. No, not an interview, not a scheduled show with a topic. Just people sharing, people saying, "Hey, this is what works for me and what's not working for me, and things that are important to me and things that aren't important." We'll discuss them. But anyhow, today, like I said, it's been a challenging day, and getting security camera up, hooking up another Wi-Fi system in the house. What else do we do today? Yeah, my office is tore up. I have to do some drywall work here shortly, and tore my hands up. And what else did I do today? I didn't do anything today. I went driving for some reason today. What did I do today? I don't know. Huh. That's a stunner. I know I went out somewhere today. Oh well. Not important. Not important. But so this live stream probably gonna let it go and not pollute the airwaves too much longer. But I like to jump on here every once in a while, get that wild hair feeling, and I just jump in here and chit chat. Trying to get into the full fledged carnivore. Haven't got there quite yet, but real close. I can tell sometimes I'm getting into ketosis, but I need to do more than ketosis, and I really need to get a handle on it so I can get some things done. This weekend is going to be a big weekend for us, be on the road and everything. So maybe tomorrow night I do a live. Maybe I don't. Maybe Thursday night I do. I'm not positive, but whatever happens. I will definitely be working on being more carnivorous than not. And I hope that you all are as well. And with that, I think what we'll do is we'll see if anybody has anything they want to jam up into the comment section. I know a lot's going on. I don't want to pull anybody from watching some of these other great lives going on and supporting these other great carnivores and the work they're doing with the Homesick Buckeye and Carnivore Today, and the Carnivore Cure. Of course, you got Rebecca out there doing a lioness lifestyle type thing with Meeting Wellness, and with Ellie out there at Nourishment Redacted. So with that, I think we're going to pull the plug on this. We'll say good night to everyone. I hope you've had a great Tuesday, and that as you go into the middle of the week and you start planning things for your weekend, that you've got some really good things planned, and that in all of it you'll enjoy and have some success. I'm sure there'll be a Super Bowl a watch. Is there a Super Bowl game this weekend, or is that next week? I can't remember. Haven't really been an NFL fan for years, but I think maybe this. I don't know what I think. I'm not sure. Maybe this weekend is the Super Bowl, whatever it is. I think with that, I'm going to bid you adieu unless someone wants to jump in or say something real quick. I'll give you a moment or two to say, hey. And otherwise, we're going to stick a fork in it, getting slowly back into or more once a week, maybe twice a week live. Yep. All right. Have a great evening yourself. Super Bowl is Sunday. All right. Well, make sure you get your chicken wings and all your carnivorous foods or whatever. If you're going to be doing the Super Bowl, get that all put together. All right, Cheryl, you take care. Hope you have a what do you call it? A great week, and we will see you all around the pickle barrel. All right, now take care. God bless. Good night.